welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? So last night, our president addressed the nation speaking about how history was made. Take a listen.
A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the three key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say, we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel. And God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And then Bibi Netanyahu stated that history will remember Trump after the U.S. strikes on Iran.
Congratulations, President Trump. Your bold decision to target Iran's nuclear facilities with the awesome and righteous might of the United States will change history. In Operation Rising Lion, Israel has done truly amazing things. But in tonight's action against Iran's nuclear facilities, America has been truly unsurpassed. It has done what no other country on earth could do. History will record that President Trump acted to deny the world's most dangerous regime the world's most dangerous weapons. His leadership today has created a pivot of history that can help lead the Middle East and beyond to a future of prosperity and peace. President Trump and I often say, peace through strength. First comes strength, then comes peace. And tonight, President Trump and the United States acted with a lot of strength. President Trump, I thank you. The people of Israel thank you. The forces of civilization thank you. God bless America. God bless Israel. And may God bless our unshakable alliance, our unbreakable faith.
And now, in my honest opinion, we the people need to prepare more now so than ever before. And why do I say that? Because we were warned that if the United States got involved, we would have hell to pay. So, and I say that because the Iranian state TV airs a map of U.S. military bases in the Middle East, declaring, Mr. Trump, you started it, and now we will end it.
من هدف مشروع ایران هستند. آمریکا با این اقدامی که انجام داد علیه ایران و حریم هوایی ایران را شکست و جنایت علیه ایران انجام داد دیگه جایی در منطقه غرب آسیا نداره. آقای رئیس جمهور آمریکا شما شروع کردید و ما تمومش خواهیم کرد.
So Iran may now activate the violent sleeper cells that are in the U.S. So stay armed. When you go out in public, report things that seem unusually off. Okay, please defend our homeland. Every time America is on the verge of greatness, we get involved in another foreign war. Iran's supreme leader has issued a serious warning, declaring that Americans should expect greater damage and heavier blows than ever before. And major U.S. cities are on high alert right now following airstrikes on the Iranian nuclear facilities. If you want a history lesson on who started this and who's to blame, I've got the Mott's, okay? The modern conflict, because, you know, I wanted to go through this because a lot of people are just looking at what's going on right now. But not a lot of people understand the history, okay? And for those who don't know history or who deny history are going to repeat history. Okay, so the modern conflict traces back to 1979 with the Iranian Revolution, which flipped Iran from pro-Israel ally under the Shah, and that's SHAH, to the hostile Islamic Republic under the Ayatollah Khomeini. I think I said that right. Before 1979, Iran and Israel had cozy ties, okay, and Israel saw Iran as a counterweight to Arab states, and Iran, under the Shah, recognized Israel in 1949. One of the first Muslim majority countries to do so. So they shared intelligence and military cooperation, especially against Soviet-aligned neighbors like Iraq. So post-1979, everything changed. The Islamic Republic adopted an anti-Israel stance, calling it the Little Satan, with the U.S. as the Great Satan. Okay. So Iran rejected Israel's legitimacy, were supporting Palestinian groups, and later armed Hezbollah in Lebanon, which became a major proxy against Israel. And Israel, in turn, viewed Iran's growing influence and nuclear ambitions as existential threats, leading to covert operations like assassinations and cyber attacks. But the roots go much deeper if you consider the broader context. From 1947 to 1948, Iran voted against the U.S. Partition plan for Palestine and Israel's admission to the UN, wary of regional instability. This wasn't hostility towards Jews, but concern over geopolitical fallout. And then you have the Cold War dynamics. The U.S. and Israel, they backed the Shah, while Iran's revolution aligned it with anti-Western ideology, setting the stage for proxy conflicts. And then you have the regional power struggles. You had the Gulf War in 1991 and Iraq's collapse in 2003, and it shifted power toward Iran and escalating tensions with Israel, who feared Iran's growing clout. So no single side started this, but both have fueled the fire. Post-1979, Iran's rhetoric about destroying Israel funded groups like Hezbollah and Hamas and the Houthis, and pursuing a nuclear program alarmed Israel. and Iran's support for attacks like the 1992 Buenos Aires embassy bombing and the 1994 AMIA bombing did not help. And then you have Israel's preemptive strikes like the 2006 Lebanon war against Hezbollah and assassinations of Iranian scientists in 2020. And then airstrikes on Iranian assets in Syria, and that was 2024. They have escalated the tensions, and Israel's refusal to confirm or deny some attacks keep Iran on edge. And then you have mutual provocation here. It's a cycle, okay? And Iran arms proxies. Israel hits back with covert ops or the airstrikes, and Iran retaliates with missiles or drones, and each side claims self-defense. But blame here is tricky because it all depends on perspective. So Iran's perspective, they see Israel as a Western-backed occupier, popped up by the U.S. and their nuclear program as a deterrent against regime change. They argue that Israel's assassinations and strikes are unprovoked aggression. Then you have Israel's perspective. Iran's explicit threats, the proxy warfare, the nuclear advances, it makes it existential threat. So Israel argues it's acting to prevent a nuclear-armed Iran from following through on its rhetoric. So then you have both of them. Neither side has shown serious interest in de-escalation. Iran's proxies keep poking the bear, and Israel's strikes keep coming at them. So then you have diplomacy, like the 2003 Iranian proposal for reapproachment. It's been sidelined. And then you have external actors, like the U.S. and the Soviet Union historically, that meddle in the region, arming sides and stoking rivalries. And then the U.S. coup against the Mossadegh, I think it is, Mossadegh in 1953, and the support for Iraq in the Iran-Iraq War from 1980 to 1988. It bred Iranian distrust, while the U.S. military aid to Israel emboldens its strikes. So then the U.S. has been entangled since the start, okay? Historical meddling, the 1953 coup, support for the Shah, and arming Iraq against Iran set the stage for the anti-Americanism in Iran. So then you have the nuclear deal fallout. Then 2015 JCPOA limited Iran's nuclear program, but Trump's 2018 withdrawal and maximum pressure sanctions pushed Iran to escalate enrichment and proxy attacks. And Biden's failure to revive the deal and Trump's renewed talks in 2025 didn't stop Israel's 2025 strikes. So the current role, by June 2025, the U.S. is directly involved, striking Iranians' nuclear sites. Alongside Israel, per Trump's orders, U.S. air defenses and naval assets are backing Israel, intercepting Iranian missiles. So, the conflicts, the origins, they lie in 1979, the ideological shift, but both sides have escalated through proxies and strikes and rhetoric. Blame here is shared. It's shared. Iran's threats, nuke scares, Israel, their covert ops to airstrikes provoke Iran. It's like would you stop touching me? You know what I mean? It's one of those, okay? Mine, she did it, he did it, it's one of those. It's stupid. And, they're acting like children. That's exactly what it is. It reminds me of my house full of teenagers, stop touching me. Mom, she touched me. It's one of those. It's like me reliving teenagerdom all over again at my house. So, but that's how I'm saying it, okay? But it's just these teenagers have weapons. But I mean, I'm not trying to laugh. I'm just, in my brain, that's how I'm saying it. But anyway, they're both to blame, okay? And it seems like they both have rulers out to see who has the largest wang. And yeah, but apparently I think they're both missing a few inches. Yeah. So anyway, that's all I have for this video. Okay, I will see you guys in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fear less and God bless. Ciao.